You're listening to Mixing Mindsets. I'm Andrew Blank.
And I'm Eric Navrosky, and we hope you find some value out of these conversations about lifestyle, music, and more. What's going on, everyone, and welcome to episode 1 of Mixing Mindset.
Numero uno of Mixing Mindset.
Right. This is exciting.
This is very exciting.
So we need to tell people why we're here. Why
we're here, why we're doing this, and
why we're on this couch right now.
What brought us to this couch? We need to start from the very first thing. So we're going to try to cut this into 15 minutes because I live an hour away and there's a snowstorm about to happen. So we're going to try to make this brief and right to the point.
Right. Right. Okay, so I guess 7 years ago, right, is where it really started.
I think roughly around that.
Right.
Yeah.
So you play in Send Request.
Right. I play in a pop punk band called Send Request.
Right.
And you play in a metal band called Toothless.
I do.
Weird.
At the time, though, that we met, Toothless was not a band. Send Request was, though.
Right. Well, Send Request formed back in 2011, 2012-ish, but no one really, we were still in high school then, so no one really knew about us at all.
It was 10, 11 years ago.
Yeah, I don't like to think about that.
Right. So then that means, I think Toothless started 7 years ago. So you guys were already working for 4 years, give or take, before.
Roughly. I remember I was at your first show. I remember that.
Are you serious?
Was that the Christmas show?
It was.
Yeah, see, I was there for that.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even know that.
Right.
That's incredible. So we met in, I would say, through mutual friends in college.
Right.
Right. And then didn't really talk to each other on a heavy basis.
We were like mutual acquaintances. We just knew each other through the network of people that we kind of associate, the crowd that we associate ourselves with.
Right. And we're talking 5-6 years.
Yeah, that was
we were just acquaintances.
Long term of hey, what's up, man? See you later.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen.
Yeah. And I'll probably never talk to you again.
Exactly. It's we had that good set bro mentality.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then that changed when we joined So Much Hope together.
Yes.
So Much Hope was started by Derek and Bart.
Right.
You hop on board.
Right.
Not too long after they were starting to do stuff.
I believe so. Well, they said it was a long-term thing. They said they were doing it years before I jumped on.
Right, but kind of.
Yeah, but they weren't really doing much of anything, so.
Yes.
They kind of, I guess from their perspective, they wanted to kind of kickstart it into gear.
Yeah.
And that's when I hopped on.
Right. So then you hop on, and then how long after did I join?
That was in the summer of 2020. So that was like a pandemic kind of ordeal.
Yes.
And then they recorded
with me,
with you
at the studio,
at your studio,
Novro
Studios, that our podcast needs no exists. So if you want to actually just give them a quick informational piece on your studio.
Yeah, absolutely. So I run a production studio called Novro Studios, and it's audio visual. My wife Sarah runs all of the visual aspect of this, all the video side. She shoots music videos, weddings, promotional videos, a whole bunch of stuff, and I mostly record bands. I've worked with commercial clients before, but they're no fun. So, no, I'm kidding. But yeah, mostly bands. Mm-hmm. So anyways, back onto the topic.
Right.
I joined So Much Hope not too long after, a few months probably after you did.
Right.
Which then actually led us into a fruitful friendship.
Yes. A prosperous friendship.
More than just good set, bro.
We realized that we're actually very, very close as people. We share a lot of the same interests and
absolutely
have strangely the same personality.
There is a lot of strange life situations that we're very similar to.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
we both got married roughly around the same time, and this is prior.
We
to
did. I beat you to it.
You did beat me to
Although you were in a relationship for 10 years
yes.
plus before.
We're going on 13 years.
Yeah, which is wild. And that's so
still
cool.
Baffles me. It
and
makes me feel even older.
That'll certainly be a podcast topic eventually.
Absolutely.
But so we have this fruitful relationship after a year or so being in So Much Hope together. And then from there, we start working together more on just the band. Right?
Yeah.
So that leads into what you do for Novro Studios.
Yes.
Which is producing.
Exactly. So Eric invited me to the studio one day when he had a client in that was kind of seeking the kind of sound my band Send Request is associated with. And it just kind of prospered from there. I came in and kind of took like this creative role of like, hey, maybe if you want to do this or do that, and I kind of helped like piece this person's music together. And
You're a songwriter.
I'm a songwriter.
You're
at
a
heart.
songwriter through and through, and you write songs for the clients.
For the most part, yeah. I don't know. There's something, and it's crazy to me how I like found so much joy in that. I almost find the same, if not even more joy, out of doing that than being in a band. As strange as that sounds.
Oh man, yeah. There's something magical about being in the studio and like having that. I mean, when you're on stage, it lasts a very short amount of time.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's a quick high, and then it's kind of over.
Right.
And it is definitely a lot of work. But man, when you're in the studio, there's just something about it's comforting because you're not feel like, well, I'm restricted to this 30 minutes, and there's just like constant creativity flowing. And that's exciting.
Exactly. There's that magic that people talk about.
Right.
And just to be able to experience that like on a frequent basis is such a cool thing.
I mean, I would argue you're kind of the one creating it. So like, I know you're probably going to want to be humble about this.
It's all right.
But no,
I like to take the artist's vision and help them turn it into
actualize
like,
it.
Like kind of like turn it into a physical product. And that's the most gratifying thing.
I would say that I'm probably your co-producer.
We are a team through and through, and I think that's the coolest thing.
I would definitely say that it's probably 70-30 towards you. I think you're maybe even 80-20. I think you're kind of the producer, and I'm throwing in my 20 to 30% of producing, but then where my skill set comes in is mixing and mastering.
I immediately hand off all the technicalities to you.
Sound good. Here's the part, make it sound good.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm kind of like visualizing the painting, and you're the one putting the brush to the canvas, if you will.
Kind of. I think it's a very fruitful endeavor, and our teamwork is. This sounds so not humble, but like it feels very like unparalleled. Like we're very quick with the way that we work.
Yeah.
And there's no way to talk about this without sounding arrogant.
I got it. I mean, I don't think it comes off that way.
I hope not. Yeah. I'm not trying to be arrogant.
We'll turn people off to the podcast in the first episode.
Right. So then from there, So Much Hope starts doing a whole lot. Toothless and CentreQuest have been playing shows together too, like just sporadically throughout this whole
and every single time endeavor. Was a great time. We need to tell them about the ToothQuest endeavor.
Right. So ToothQuest was awesome. So we have a friend who was putting on a pretty cool show called Noise, and it was at the college that we ended up meeting all of our mutual friends through. And it was a huge, I would say almost like day-long festival of local bands.
There's a lot going on that
It was really cool.
That,
But there was a slot that needed to get filled that CentreQuest wasn't going to fill by themselves, and Toothless wasn't going to fill by themselves. It was like only a couple songs. We needed like a few minutes of time that needed to get filled. So we decided, let's take Toothless and CentreQuest and split the bands up and then form two bands, which we collectively called one band called ToothQuest. And then one band played a cover and another band played a cover.
Yes.
Although it was basically just our two bands slapped together.
Exactly.
Which was awesome.
I only remember the one cover, and I don't even remember if I was a part of it.
Yeah.
It was the...
you did Katy Perry.
Was I a part of that one?
You're the vocalist.
I actually... You're right. I just, for some reason, that's the one I didn't remember too. I remembered the 99
we
Luft
did
balloons.
Did you say Love Balloons?
No, well, isn't the original called like Luft balloons or something? Because it's a German song.
Oh, yeah. We did with the Goldfinger.
Yeah, you did the the
Goldfinger.
The cover of the cover.
Yeah.
So that's the one that was in my head. I actually don't even. It's funny that you mentioned the Katy Perry one. Because we don't do that anymore. So like,
but you did it a lot.
I know. I completely forgot that I existed until this exact moment, and that's the weirdest thing.
I love it. But that was a big part of like actually working together a little bit beyond the good set, bro.
Yeah.
And maybe it didn't last, too long. It didn't like really kick off a friendship, but it was one of the first times that we've spent an extended period of time in the same room, like conversing.
Right.
And that was like 2016,
That was 2017.
17.
I thought it was like 15.
No,
no. Yeah, it's got to be later than that.
Oh wait, no, you're right. I graduated college in 2015, which means that it was during that college moment. So
Oh,
it was
okay.
it was in the range of 2014 to 2016.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
Roughly around there.
Right. So then now, fast forward to 2022 as this starts.
Mm-hmm.
It's really because of So Much Hope
Yeah, absolutely.
and coming together, writing music together, being a band together, and a lot of it comes from just hanging out afterwards.
Pretty much,
the
yeah.
hours and hours and hours of hanging out afterwards.
You and I had some really fruitful conversations post
Right.
So Much Hope practice. And I
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And I really hope that like we could utilize more of that
Yeah.
in the podcast here. And I think that's a reason why we even chose to start it, you know?
That's why we're here
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Is because we realized the conversations that we were having lasting upwards of like 3 hours sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, you're driving an hour home and getting home at 3 or 4 a.m.
Right.
just because we were chatting,
It was worth it.
you know,
Yeah.
for that time being. And I think there was a lot of good within those conversations.
Oh, absolutely.
And a lot of good that we wanted to bring to any of the any podcast listeners.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, something that we can actually
I think we've-
help somebody out in life, in business, and in music. You know, we've
I
been
think
doing
we
this for so
found-
long.
We found common ground on both having like an entrepreneurial type of spirit. And
Absolutely.
I think that definitely drives
Absolutely.
the conversation and us just constantly wanting to do things.
Right. And I think it's noteworthy to say that we're pretty much at the beginning of our careers.
Absolutely.
So like this isn't really a podcast coming from the I make 7 figures and I'm going to show you how to make 7 figures. This really is the journey
Yeah.
of, you know, how this is beginning, how our
Exactly.
mindsets are, and how we are planning on achieving the goals and getting to
Right.
where we want to be, which hopefully, hopefully a couple of years from now, we will be we made 7 figures a year.
Yeah,
Here's
sure.
how you do, you know,
I sure hope so.
right? You
Yeah,
know,
no, I think if there's one message I want to get across to people, it's that like we're just 2 dudes grinding, and like
absolutely.
I think we want to tell people the story within the grind. And, like,
Absolutely. while we're in it.
yeah,
While we're
and
literally
I think
going
that's
through it.
what this podcast is primarily going to be about, and I
Definitely.
think that's awesome.
I think we'll be covering topics about like being positive, you know, having positive attitudes, you know, how we deal with our clients and how we try to bring a healthy perspective to everything that we do, you know, and what that actually looks like, whether that be our bands, our clients, you know, our personal lives.
Right.
And hopefully, I think our goal is to really bring that positive attitude and perspective to the listener.
Right.
And if we can do that, I think we're pretty successful here.
Absolutely. And if not, well, hey, we tried.
Right.
That's more than some can say.
Right. And that's certainly where we're going to wrap it up for episode 1.
Yeah.
Episode 2, we'll come back at it and really dive into the meat and potatoes of what this whole thing is going to be about.
Agreed.
Thanks for checking in.
Thank you for listening.